They called me Ghost. I was never a man, but a direwolf, and my existence began on a frigid day in the heart of a vast, primordial forest. I was born in the deep, earthy warmth of a den, one of 6 pups. When my eyes first opened, they focused on my mother. She was a magnificent creature, a matriarch of formidable size and stark beauty. Her fur, a thick mantle of white that mirrored the snow-choked world outside. My father, the Alpha, was the embodiment of strength and valor. His coat, the color of mountain granite, in those first weeks. The den was our entire universe, a sanctuary of safety and warmth. My siblings and I were a writhing mass of new life, subsisting on our mother's milk and long periods of slumber. Our waking hours were a chaotic tangle of clumsy paws and mock battles, a constant jostling for position and warmth. I was the runt of the litter, distinguished only by the pure, unblemished white of my fur. It was for this spectral appearance that my mother named me Ghost as we grew. Our father began to instill in us the ancient laws of the pack, the unwritten code that governed our survival. The pack was family, a singular entity to which we owed our absolute loyalty. We learned to defer to our parents, the undisputed sovereigns of our small kingdom. The day our father first led us from the den, the world outside was an overwhelming sensory assault. The sheer scale of it was staggering, the light almost blinding. The sun was a novel warmth on my fur, and the air was a complex tapestry of scents I had never known. Damp earth, and the distant, tantalizing musk of other living things. It was both exhilarating and terrifying. We began the long apprenticeship of our kind. Our parents tutored us in the art of the hunt, starting with small prey like field mice and rabbits. My brother Fang quickly proved himself the most gifted hunter, a blur of speed and power. My own talents were more subtle. I was a creature of silence, a phantom in the undergrowth, capable of moving with a preternatural stealth that allowed me to approach my prey undetected. We also mastered our own intricate language, a nuanced system of posture and vocalization. A low, rumbling growl served as a stark warning, a sweeping tail, a sign of accord. But the most profound element of our communication was the howl. Each evening, as twilight bled across the sky, our father would ascend a high crag and unleash his call. It began as a low, mournful note that swelled into a magnificent, resonant cry, sound that spoke of solitude, of power, and of an ancient connection to the land. Our mother would join him, her voice weaving a harmony with his. Soon, the entire pack would raise its voice in a unified chorus, a sound that rolled for miles through the silent forest. It was a declaration to other packs. This territory is ours. It was an affirmation. We are here, and we are one. To be part of that chorus was to feel an indescribable sense of belonging and power. With maturity came a burgeoning curiosity. I began to venture to the edges of our territory, driven by a desire to see what lay beyond. One afternoon, I pursued a monarch butterfly farther than I had ever gone before. It led me to a place of serene beauty, a small, clear river bordering a wide open meadow. And in that meadow, I saw an anomaly, a creature utterly foreign to my world. It was a human child. Our instincts, drilled into us by our parents, screamed of danger. Humans were to be avoided at all costs. Yet, this small figure did not radiate menace. He sat on the grass, his attention fixed on the flowing water. There was an aura of solitude about him, a quiet melancholy that resonated with something. Deep within me, I concealed myself within a thicket of trees, observing him. He was young, perhaps 7 or 8 years of age, with hair the color of sun-bleached wheat and eyes that seemed gentle. He remained oblivious to my presence. After a time, he rose and ambled away. I returned to the pack, but the image of the boy was seared into my mind. The following day, I was drawn back to the river. He was there again. This time, my concealment was less perfect. He saw me, His eyes widened, but not with fear. I expected him to flee, to cry out. He did neither. He simply stared, and I returned his gaze. I offered no growl. He made no sudden moves. We stood in silent appraisal for a long moment. Then, a slow, tentative smile touched his lips. I retreated back into the shadows of the forest. Thus began our silent communion, a strange unspoken pact between two solitary beings on opposite sides of a natural divide. I would visit the river, and he would be there. We maintained our distance, the river a constant boundary between us. We watched one another, and in that shared gaze, I felt a connection I could not explain. It was a friendship without names, without words, yet it was real then. Winter descended upon us, not as a season, but as a siege. The days grew short and brutal, the nights long and frozen. The snow lay in deep drifts, muffling the world in a deathly silence. Food became scarce, as the deer and other large prey migrated to more forgiving lands. A profound, knowing hunger became our constant companion. My father led the hunts relentlessly, but the forest yielded nothing. Our pack grew gaunt and weak, and I saw the deep worry etched in my mother's eyes, as if our hardship wasn't enough. A new threat emerged. A rival pack, larger and more desperate than our own, encroached upon our territory. Their alpha was a massive black-furred brute. They were starving, and they saw our land as their salvation. The ensuing confrontation was a maelstrom of fur and fang, a brutal, desperate battle for the right to exist. We were victorious, driving the intruders off, but my father was grievously wounded. His leg was mangled, leaving him unable to lead the hunt. Our situation had become critical. We were without a primary hunter, and starvation was no longer a threat, but a certainty. In my desperation, my thoughts turned to the boy. I went to the river, now a solid sheet of ice. He was not there. The cold was too severe. A profound sadness washed over me. I sat in the snow and let out a soft, mournful howl, a sound of pure loneliness and hunger. I waited, a hopeless vigil in the biting wind. As I prepared to leave, a scent reached me, cooked meat. My nose guided me to the edge of the woods, where a small bundle lay beneath a snow-dusted pine. I tore it open with my teeth. Inside was meat and bread. It was from the boy. He had heard my desperate, lonely call across the frozen expanse. And in a way that defied all logic and instinct, he had understood. I ate a small portion. It was exquisite, but I did not devour it all. Taking the bundle gently in my jaws, I raced back to the den. I laid the offering before my father. He was suspicious at first, sniffing it with caution, but his hunger overrode his mistrust. He ate, as did my mother and my siblings. The boy left food for us each day. He was our salvation. He saved my family. My father's leg healed, and with the first thaws of spring, he was able to hunt once more. The winter siege was broken. I continued my visits to the river. Our friendship, though still silent and separated by water, had been forged into something unbreakable. He had shown me that humanity was not the monolithic threat I had been taught to fear, and I, in turn, had shown my pack that salvation can arise from the most unexpected of sources. I grew into a capable direwolf, my lack of size compensated for by intelligence and stealth. I ran and hunted and howled with my pack, my family, but my friendship with the human boy was a secret I carried within me, a private truth that taught me the world was not a simple dichotomy of black and white. It was a complex tapestry of gray, a place where a dire wolf and a boy could forge a bond. Across the chasm that separated their worlds, a silent understanding on opposite banks of a river.